السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له وما يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أما بعد. الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن بك ونتوكل عليك ونثني عليك خيرا ونشكرك ولا نكفر ونقرأ ونترك من يشرك. اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد إليك ونسعى ونفي ونرجو رحمتك نخشى أتباعك إن أتباعك بيوم كفر الملحق. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيمن أتيت وقنا من شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يضل من وليت ولا يعز من أديت تباركت وربنا عليت. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا محمد. الحمد لله. شكر الله سبحانه وتعالى من هذا اليوم. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for another day. Continue, on what I was discussing yesterday, referencing the reality of somewhere, sakan, a bait, a dar, for the Muslims who are in Sijin, and the reality that many, without that, min duni, without that, would never ever have opportunity for hurriya. This is very important, brothers, and I ask brothers and sisters for your assistance in this particular area. Again, there's three things. This has been done before, but it's been half-baked. And the person said, well, we don't have the resources, but we find resources for everything and everybody else other than, and I have to be honest and clear on this a lot of times, other than African Americans. And they look at it as a burden, but anybody else just look at it, as opportunity. We are, unfortunately, just like many other countries, are, for the most part, the ones who have a history of oppression here. If you go to China, then you'll find that the Uyghurs, and you'll find that other groups have been the victims of oppression for years there. If you go to India, you'll find that certain groups have been the victims of oppression there. For years, for hundreds of years. If you go to Pakistan, you'll find certain groups have been oppressed there for hundreds of years. Every country has that particular minority that has always been oppressed. We just happen to be there in this particular country. So there's no monopolization on that. The reality is that in each one of those countries that they have minorities who are oppressed, they need more help than other majority that is affluent. And that's the way it is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that He has always put one group over another, to see how they would fare, would they fare justly or would they fare unjustly? Would they do right or, it's a fitna, it's a test. It's a test for those who have and for those who don't have. And saying that is the reality, the haqq, the truth, the rights of the people to have expectations based upon what Allah says. Expectations usually bring about disappointment because of the expectations. But once the expectations are based upon Quran and Sunnah, and a person with philosophical means or good syntax, good sentence structure, very eloquent in speaking, can wipe away what Allah says in the minds of the people, then that is a whole other case. What I'm saying is that for the fakir and the miskin and those who are in sijin and would never have opportunity to be free unless to have hurriya, unless they have somewhere. And in the past it has been done, but it's been half-baked because in order to do this, you need, again, as I said yesterday, you need three things. You need, first and foremost, you need the means of understanding whom and what you're dealing with. You need to understand the person, the male or the female, and why they were there, what was their situation, what is their psychological situation, And again, we have brothers, we have sisters who have degrees in social work, who have degrees in psychology, who have degrees in those areas. And then you have those who do not have those degrees but have the hands-on experience, even though they do not have the sheepskin in order to be accredited. The accreditation comes with the sheepskin, but you still have those who have experience, generations, decades of years of experience dealing with brothers and sisters who have been in that type of life, and therefore they know the games that will be run. They know the weakness and their strength. They understand how to look for it, and so it's very important that we do this. I mean, that's the first thing, understanding what you're dealing with. If they're mudmin, are they addicts? Do they have addictions? If they do, how do you deal with it? What do you do? And again, that's the first thing. And the second thing is the second stage is having a 24-hour personnel or personnels, one or two, that would be willing to, for a stipend or for a salary, to be paid to them to work there and to manage and to govern the house. Because the reality behind it is that if a person been in Sitchin 10, 15 years and you think that they're going to, even though they're Muslim, that they're just going to get out and automatically convert to Sharia after being caged as an animal for years, then no, they still need supervision and they still need structure. And slowly you allow the structure off. And 98%, let's be honest, 98% of the Rijal and the Nisa, the men and the women, 98% want to make. That's the reality behind it. And so you have to structure something in the Jamaat in order to accommodate that, in that particular aspect. And if you choose not to, then you can't blame a person that may go outside of the Sharia, go outside of the Jamaat and seek companionship somewhere else when it wasn't available with the mu'min and the mu'minat, with the believing men and the believing women. This is a conversation I know is uncomfortable for some, and I understand that it's a conversation that many shun from. Because a lot of times, and I have to be honest, a lot of times the Muslims fi Sharia, they, the view of the believers that in Sijin is often because of their jarim, is viewed as being wrong and viewed as being fasid and fasik and mujrim, which they are, but fasid and fasik, not a mistake, not a kata, not a situation that could be cleared up, but that our views are un-Islamic in the light that we buy into the politically correct and the correct stance of the majority of the society when we look at our brothers and our sisters that are in Sijin. We don't look at them and from the Islamic perspective, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us. We automatically, by second nature, have adopted the un-Islamic view towards these brothers and sisters. Now, I have to be honest in saying that many, quite a few, not maybe all, but quite a few, do so and embrace Islam for protection and embrace Islam to be a part of something while they are there and being able to be a part of something to occupy their time. And rather than more nefarious groups, it is more of a safe haven And in itself, it serves a purpose, and in itself, it is good. And one can only wish that when that situation stops and they are released, that they would in fact be willing to participate and live a life of the deen once they get out. But that is very difficult when most arms are closed, most backs are turned, most eyes are ignored, and there is no support except from the kuffar. Except from the kuffar. So when the kuffar supports them, then don't get mad when they go back to the kuffar. When the kuffar is there to visit them, don't get mad when they go back to the kuffar. When the kuffar writes them and sends them fulus while they're there, don't get mad at them when they go back to the kuffar, because that has been their experience even after embracing Islam. Their experience has been with the kuffar, not with the mu'min, not with the mu'minat, not with the muslim, not with the muslimat. You know, did the mu'min visit them? Did the mu'minat visit them? Did the mu'minat, Muslim, or the muslimat, did they visit them? Did they write them? Did they occasionally give them sadaqah? Did they establish a communication with them? No. If this doesn't happen, and then only the people that does this are the kuffar, then you can't get upset when they get out there and then they go to the kuffar. That is normal. You know, the fish goes down with the stream. Wherever the stream goes, that's where the fish go. Only by the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do the strong salmon go upstream. You know, only then. So it's very important that we understand that even before they hit the bricks, this is something that has to be implemented and should be implemented. Second, like I said, is someone who is willing to be there 24/7 to augment them, to help them, to assist them, to guide them into the deen, and it should be made known to brothers and sisters who are like the Ansar, who are already Hurriya, that there are brothers who desire to perform nikah, and that there are sisters who desire to perform nikah. Of course, we have to look at these brothers and sisters, and we have to watch them, and we have to, observe the behavior, and we have to also nurture their behavior to be being good believers. And part of nurturing that behavior into being good believers is in having a structure of having classes, of having halakas with the brothers and the sisters on the aspects of the deen, and supporting them with other believers around them to help them stand up straight once they hit the bricks. And also, inshallah, assisting them with the help and the barakat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla, with amil, with jobs, amilun, with jobs, helping them with jobs so that they can function and work. And in doing so, we have to be able to establish some sort of social connection with businesses in order to do so. And establishing these businesses, with these businesses, then we can get these brothers and sisters good jobs. It's one thing to teach a class on a trade or anything, and that is worthy and that is honorable in itself. Though to teach the class and to help them get the job is even more honorable and admirable. And so we have to be able to have the resources in order to get them to work and back from work. And this right here probably, inshallah, would take 3 to 4 vehicles. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It needs to be something, just to get a person from A to B that we know that is going to be a good sturdy means of transportation, or one or two vans or three vans. This is what is needed. And again, I ask the Muslims, the Muslim men and the Muslim women, the mu'minina or mu'minati, to please, inshallah, contribute to what I am trying to do. At Dollar Al-Muhaimin Mateen in Cash App, and Mateen at 117 and PayPal. It is imperative, because you don't know. The majority of believers that are in Sijil, that have done, and this is also an FBI statistic, that have done 10 years or more, would never ever repeat going back, except for probably not another felony, but probably just simply because of an infraction, or if some negligent thing, not because of anything else. This is a fact. So it is not, it is not the short ones. This is not the ones who do 2 or 3 or 1 or 60 days. They have never really understood a deprivation, and they have never understood, had an opportunity to really embrace and internalize the deen, and understand that which they have lost, because it is so brief, it is so short. So the greatest probability of success would be with those individuals that had been there for a minute. This is a fact. This is a statistical fact. I mean, when you praise people, and you see great leaders who was in that type of mindset, then you have to understand that there are people like that. Their organizations working tirelessly, and you have other organizations working tirelessly also to keep them there, because money is in that. I ask you, fi sabilillah, to assist me in attempting to do this. Again, there are mu'min there. And the only thing that hinders them from being able to reach this environment is the fact that they have no home. La dar, la bait. No family. And their extended family is the believers. And the believers, for the most part, are skeptical, or cynical, or wary, and they have reason to be, but they also have reason not to be. How many have been successful? Nobody talks about the successful ones. Everybody talks about the ones who took something out of the sadaqah box, or somebody who did something haram, or somebody who did something like this. But who speaks of those individuals who have done well, those individuals who lived their lives and done well, and died, have passed on, who lived, and they lived a life of a good citizen, a good Muslim, a good husband, a good father, a good man, after 10, 15 years in Sijin. Who talks about that? No, they've forgotten. It's like saying, well, that's what they should have done. Well, that is true, what they should have done. But the same way that you perpetually discuss negatively those who have failed, then speak positively and uphold and give props where props due to those who have been successful. Because if you do just one, then you were an enemy from the beginning. You was never a brother or a friend or a sister. You was an associate. You was Zamil, Zumla. Not Aki, not Akwat, not Ukti. He was Adu from the very beginning. And inama al-amilu biniyati wa inama likulli ma nawa. Actions are judged by intentions. And isn't it hard if you didn't view a person as a brother from day one or as a sister from day one, then in fact, the rest needs not be said. And that is the reality. The need for this, I cannot speak volumes on the need for this from the believers. I beg you, I ask you, a humble servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla, and those who know me. I send my greetings to Sheikh Muhammad Saad Adli, who I love dearly, to Sheikh Bashir, who I've met and learned to love dearly, to Sheikh Imam Umar Shaheed, who I love dearly and have known for years as well, and Sheikh Faye, who I also met. I send my greetings to the brothers in Jersey at the round table, Atlantic City round table, and to Brother Hassan in Whiteville, North Carolina, and to Imam Jawad Rasul, who is now in Texas, and to all of the imams who I do not know. But I sit right here in Columbia, South Carolina. We ask thee for the assistance to help those Ikhwan and those Akhwat who are Wara al-Hijrah, who are behind the walls, Wara al-Hijrah, who are behind those fences, and who need the opportunity, the fursa, the zahiba, the golden opportunity to be believers fi Sharia and have somewhere for them to go. And again, Dollar Al-Muhaimin Mateen or Mateen at 117. I cannot speak the volumes enough, inshallah, for those who need that. I can only speak from myself and say that really 98 to 99% of my, that assisted me were not Muslim. Fact. But I didn't become Muslim because of the people. I became Muslim because I love Allah. I didn't become Muslim because of the people. I became Muslim because of my love for Allah and my love for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so the people, are just collateral. There's residual. Because it was about saving my ruh, my soul. And the people can't save my soul. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can. Though now it is imperative, it says that Muawiyah asked Aisha radiallahu anha, say, give me some tutini nasiha, give me some advice. And she said, whoever seeks to please whoever seeks to please the people at the expense of Allah, Allah will leave them to the people. And whoever seeks to please Allah at the expense of the people, Allah will be with them. So it's not about the people. It's about Allah. It's about doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Tribalism, that right there, ethnicity, that right there. I mean, it exists. Don't think that it don't exist. It exists, and it's sad. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. But the reality behind that is that confronting it and recognizing and accepting it, embracing it and say, okay, it's there and I got it in me and I need to get rid of it in order to help the believer. Because once a person says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, once a person takes their shahadatain, guess what? All of their zunub, all of their sins, kul zunub, is gone. It's over. They are like a blank slate. They are pure as the driven snow. And so therefore, even then, their doers will be greater than the person who was born a Muslim and a Muslim family. They are closer to the Sahaba than the person who was born as a Muslim and a Muslim family. Because, as you really know, the Sahaba were all mushrikeen before they took their shahadatain. They were mushrikeen. And two things elevated them to the status of being ashabul kiram, honorable companions. Was number one, their closeness and affiliation and obedience to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and number two is that they embraced Islam from Kuf. So today a person may not be around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said himself that there will come a people who have never met me, who will follow me more than those who saw me or who met me. And those who were in the dunya, who were jahiliyyah, who were kufa, mushrikeen, and they embraced Islam, they're on that same status. In that regard, as the Ashabul Kiram. Never look down on them. Never look down. If anything, alhamdulillah. So with that being said, again, inshallah, I make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi Surani, to help me have that sabab with this purpose, with this thing that I am attempting to do. Rabbi Surani ma'ama mal'aika, Rabbi Surani min ladinka, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla, rawi ma mal'aika, والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات والمشركين والمشركات والكافرين والكافرات. Help me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from yourself, from your essence, from your zat. Help me with your sifats. Help me with your attributes. Help me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla. And help me with your malaika, your angels. Help me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the mu'mineen, the believing men and the believing women, the Muslim men and the Muslim women. Help me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the polytheist men and the polytheist women, and the unbelieving men and the unbelieving women. Rabbin surani wa kuluka. Help me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from your creation to make this reality. Ameen. So, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your day easy. May He take away your fitna this day. May He bless us all to be the best that we can be this day. May He take away from us our fears, our burdens, and make He take away from us all of the things that are holding us down from being better service to Him. Ameen. With that being said, I love you. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Maghfirullah.